in my solitude. My nature's weak, what can I do? Just when I seem to have control, just let it go when you're in love. It's a woman's world, and I like it, yes I like it when you're in love. It's a woman's world, and I like it, yes I like it. And when your emotions run wild, and you're nothing to say, on your face there's a smile, which will always remain. You just watch yourself fall deeper each day, 'cause in this world you know we're all the same. There's something about this love makes my body come alive, and there's nothing I can do, 'cause I like it, yeah. When I have you all alone, it feels so good, and there's nothing I can do. I like it, yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is now time for the Indie Live spot right here on your station GHP Radio, your independent music source.
baby. Yeah.
Friday done with work, ready for the weekend. Driving to your place, just can't wait to get there. We'll stop to get some wine, but later, babe, before heading across the bay. I just can't wait. Sunset heading north, the music sure is grooving. Cruising the Golden Gate, the view is so romantic. We'll check into our room, flowers for me, spinnakers at 8. I just can't wait. Your eyes are incredibly so clear. The stars are out, moon shining in your hair. Boy, I know, I just can't wait to hold you close in my arms tonight. Salsa nights, magic's all around us, baby. Salsa night, you and I together, baby. Salsa nights, magic's all around us, baby. Salsa night, love is around us, baby. Strolling boardwalks cool, hand in hand with you, babe. That smile on your face, it's so captivating. Your arms around my waist, the city lights are bright across the way. Just can't wait. Head back to our room, we'll slip into our silkies. Relax, go light the fire, pour us both martinis. Make love until the dawn, sleep till noon, breakfast will be late. Oh baby, baby. The incomparable Nick Corleone. Keep it right there. Give me some of that groove, baby. Oh yes. All right now. Oh, what a beautiful night. Magic's all around us. I love those flowers you gave me. Take another martini, baby. Salsa It's getting late. Check out, baby. Magic's all around us. Let's do it again. Yeah.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Indie Live Spot right here on GHP Radio. And we're very excited about today's show because we do have a special guest in studio with us today. And, of course, my co-hosts Griselda, Medina, and Joyce Spencer is here as well. And let's all come together and let's welcome Debbie Burks. Hello, Debbie. Welcome. Welcome to the show. We're very excited about having you today. Yes. Of course, we know that you are a jazz author, and then of course, you actually have some musician background too, as well, from what I understand. Is that correct? Yeah, that's awesome.
Seventh Street, which is no longer there in Manhattan, and I got the only sax I could afford, and took some lessons at the New School for Social Research, and then put it away for decades. Don't ask me why. Life happens, and kids, raising a family. And one day, my son, who is musically pretty gifted, said, why don't you take it out of the closet and,
hey,
open
Debbie,
it up and play with it.
Hey, so, Debbie, I'm sorry. Let me interrupt right quick because
sure.
On the introduction there, I didn't have you guys keyed in just yet. So,
that's why
nobody didn't really hear you guys other than me, just me. So I apologize for that. So let's rewind.
Thank you.
Let's rewind.
Now you have to explain to the listeners what happened.
Yeah, well, of course. Well, I think they just heard that.
Had a squirrel moment.
Yeah, everybody actually just heard that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited today about having our guest on the show today, Miss Debbie Burke. She's a jazz author and wonderful. She has some great some literature. She has actually a book coming out, and she already had a book ahead of that. So we're going to talk about all of that actually. So of course, I do have my co-host Joyce Spencer and Griselda Medina's here, and so again, one more time, let's welcome let's welcome our guest Debbie Burke.
Thank you so much. And Joyce, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, and we're so happy to have you on the show. And as we were talking just a bit, you do, outside of writing books, you actually a musician as well. Is that correct?
Well, I try. I struggle with with the alto sax. I joined a community band a few years ago in the area. I live in the Poconos, so a lot of universities now around the country have jazz programs, which is so wonderful. Bringing new people up into it. And I played sax for a while. Not what, but loved it. I mean, it's such a soulful instrument, so I still have it. But actually, I actually put it aside to concentrate on writing because you can't, serve two masters really well in their creative endeavors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you were saying also that you played violin when you were in high school?
I did. I was, we had a huge string section, and so I was the first chair of the second violinist. So that was my claim to fame.
Nice. Yeah, that's not an easy instrument to play. I mean, people say, "Oh, it's small." I said, "Yeah, but it's very intricate. You can't, because a lot of people when I was in the school system working in one of the campuses in San Antonio as an interpreter, one of my kids was playing violin, and every kid always had a problem with F sharp. And you can hear when they did not hit the F sharp just right.
And the problem with a violin is right on your ear.
It's
right there.
Yeah. When you have to go for auditions and you're nervous and you sweat, it slips out from under your chin. That's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
That happens with flute players too. When you're holding it, the chin gets sweaty. I have to drop my flute and do this in the middle of a performance. I have to look up a remedy for that because it slips sometimes even on your hand and on the chin. It starts to slip, and it's really serious around the embouchure. It starts to slip. So, but
and that's not good either.
No, it's not. But that's what you get for playing outdoors in the heat, and we're in Texas here, so it's not fun, especially if instruments go sharp.
Oh, I know, right? Especially because they get warped in the sun.
Yeah.
So you have to constantly be tuning in the middle of you playing.
Yeah,
that's happened. I mean, that's just part of the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, that's wow. So Debbie, let's talk a little bit about your background and stuff. You know, from you playing and what actually brought you into writing books and things about jazz musicians and so forth.
Well, I think what really kicked this off was when I joined that community jazz band in my university area, which is, in the Poconos here, East Stroudsburg University. I started really immersing myself in the jazz scene here. And we also have this little gem of a place called the Deer Head Inn, which has a huge legacy as a magnet for the whole jazz scene going back, before the 50s. So I thought, I want to learn more about it. And, you go on Amazon, and no one had written any books about the jazz scene here. And there are some real famous cats came through here. And so I just, when you find, something that needs to be done, you're like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Right.
So I just got in touch with, I'm not shy, so I just got in touch with all these people. I mean, Phil Woods and Dave Liebman and Bob Duro and, so forth, and just interviewed them all, and they were pretty cool. They were pretty gracious, and they, they met me, and a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So how long has it been? When did you start?
So I wrote that book. I happened to be between jobs then, and my husband said, you always wanted to, write a book on jazz, go with it. So that's when I interviewed, and I started with this one guy, and he's like, now he's getting pretty established, but he's like an up-and-comer at the time with the saxophone, and I thought I'd start with him, and I didn't even say I'm writing a book. I said, I'm working on this project and interviewing musicians, because I couldn't commit yet in my mind.
Right.
And, I'm like, shoot, I was so scared. So he was so sweet, and he just gave me the strength to go forward and just say, oh, the hell with it. I'm going to ask these guys, and whoever doesn't want to participate doesn't have to participate. But all of them did, and I did a little bit of historical background on that, the Deer Head Inn, that whole scene that was going on in the Poconos. That was pretty interesting too.
Yeah. Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, and the Poconos area, like I said, that's kind of explain a little bit about that, because I know that has a lot of history there.
Yeah, so the Poconos is some people think it's like 4 counties, but it's traditionally Stroudsburg. And if you think of Delaware Water Gap as, if you're trying to place it mentally, it's 78-mile straight shot to New York City. So it's under 2 hours. When we moved here in about 20 years ago, you had your locals, and then you had the people who they call transplants. And, they didn't love us in New York originally. They thought New Yorkers were to blame for everything. But I did. But there was so many people from Queens and Brooklyn and so on had relocated here. So, and it's it's a really nice place, and you're just a shot away from Philly, and and as far as culture, New York City.
Yeah.
So it's
What's the population in Poconos? Just curious.
Oh, I don't even know, but Monroe County is that's where the Poconos is centered. Stroudsburg is in there, and much, nowhere near New York. I don't even know what the population is, tens of thousands, but I don't think we're hitting 1 million or anything.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
And do they still have a lot of the resorts there, from way back in the day in the Poconos?
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing too, because the resorts were actually instrumental in helping the jazz scene to become what it is today, because the musicians would go there and do their lounge gigs, you know, their kind of stuff, you know. But then after hours, they really wanted to find somewhere to cook, you know, to really go and you know let loose. So the Deer Head was that place, which is also an inn. So they stayed there as well. The place wasn't too developed like in the 50s and so on, but that was a place where people came through the doors and played till, you know, 2-3 a.m. and, you know, it was really how it got started. And then in the 70s, they started this festival. I think it's nationally known, Celebration of the Arts, and that every year, and it's a big festival. It's a 3-day thing, and it's very cool. It's very cool. There are actually a lot of jazz aficionados around here.
Okay.
You know.
Cool.
That is cool.
So it's like a place with a beautiful lakes and beautiful scenery, valleys and things like that, resorts, and the Poconos area or mountains.
Yeah, exactly. The mountains. It's really beautiful. You know, you have the change in scenery, the mountains, water gap, which has this iconic kind of, you know, I mean, anyone who does a logo about the water gap, it's, you know, it's just got a special look. And you know, the trees so beautiful, and the river, Delaware River, is beautiful. So yeah, it's quite different from New York in that respect.
Right. And now I would understand why people from New York are going there. You know, it's like a safe refuge and a great place for a music festival, right? Once
you get, like, you learn more about the jazz scene, there's just, you know, little venues have popped up as well, you know, that have live jazz and, you know, cover charge really, like, you know, $7-8. It's like really, you know, extremely affordable for a night out. And get to meet some great people, and it's cool. It's fantastic.
That is very cool.
Wow.
Now I know that you you know, besides your book writing and everything, you have a very cool, interesting blog that really shines a light on a lot of jazz artists, I noticed.
Yeah, the blog was really, I don't know how I got into it, but it's really snowballed. So I started in November. And again, you know, I'm not shy, you know, I'm from Brooklyn, so I just, you know, reach out. To you, and would you be on my blog? And they're like, huh? And, you know, most of them said sure. And so the more people that I got, I would always ask just for one favor, you know, spread on social media, which is quid pro quo, it's good for everybody. But also just refer me to one colleague in the music industry, just somebody, you know? And it's good PR, you know, obviously, you know, it's free. I'm writing to really fine tune my chops, and, you know, they get some media buzz out of it. So I have a spreadsheet. It's like ridiculous now. I'm waiting to interview because, you know, one person says, oh, wait, what about this? Can I give you more than one person? Of course, you know, Aziza, you know, turned me on to so many other people, as did, you know.
She's a good friend of ours. Yeah.
Amaryllis, I mean, they're all great, you know.
Another one, yeah.
That's how it happens, because when a radio station says, Joyce, you know any more artists? I'm like, yes. And I go, here you go. I'm going through Sam, David, Gary, and all the people that I know, say Terry. And I just send them a message, give them the information. So we need to help each other out. That's great.
That's right. I agree with that. I agree.
Makes it easy.
You know, I'm sorry. So the blog is like a Q&A format, and to me that's easier to write than, you know, a whole article. And I think you get into the head of a person when you hear how they speak and what they're answering, you know. And if somebody doesn't like something, I mean, I'll make a change, but they wouldn't agree to it if they didn't want it up there. So, and they posted a news page, so it's really, you know, reciprocal. Social media, you couldn't do this without social media, really.
Yeah.
Get to know people. Like, how would we get to know each other, really? It's amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think that's such a wonderful thing that you're doing, because you know, a lot of artists, you know, they need all of the media exposure that they can get, you know, especially in these times. You know,
especially the indie artists. Yeah,
especially the indies, because you know, there's so, and, you know, it's great that there's so many outlets now, you know, and stuff. But I think that's just terrific, some of the things that you're doing over there at your blog, because you know, when I first met up with you online and everything, I actually went over, and I was really surprised to see some of the artists that I know which was wonderful. That's good. That's a good thing. So, yeah. So your books. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So, you have 2 books out now, or do you have one book and then you actually got one coming out? Is that?
It's the second. The next one's coming out in July of 18, which it was amazing that when they tell you to go for literary agents, and I don't know if that part of the market is, I think it's kind of shrinking a little, because for authors, a literary agent doesn't want to rep you unless they feel there's like extreme promise in you, meaning you've already done the circuit of TV and all this stuff. So someone who's starting out, or an indie writer, it's very hard to get in. And again, Twitter, thank God for Twitter, really, I'm telling you. So someone posted on Twitter, such and such a Waldorf Publishing, so that's who I'm using so I can say their name, is manuscripts for anything, fiction, nonfiction, whatever you got. So I just pitched them, and among maybe 40 others, and a day she said, call me, and she signed me the next day, and it was like like one of the best moments in life. One of the like 5 few, your kid is born, you get married, all those things, but one of them,
Awesome.
I mean, there's no different from you as an independent author as the rest of us as independent artists, and the tribulations that we face, or the challenges, or trying to promote who we are. Because I told somebody, I was doing a magazine interview, and I told her that over 95% of what I do is rejected, and she said, how do you handle that? And I said, well, you accept it as an occupational hazard, just like any other work. In the work that you're in, this is part of it. And if you really love what you're doing, passionate about what you're doing, you're going to accept that as part of the occupational hazard of what you do. But one thing I want to ask you, I know that that many artists now, this seems to be, because some have reached out to me and said, hey, I have a blog for artists, and I would like to. Can I put your music on my blog? Can I do this? And then you can put my link on your website. But I didn't understand. And when I asked another question, I don't hear back from them anymore. It sounded like a great idea, but I didn't understand it. So I'm trying to, as an independent artist, trying to figure out, okay, do I need to reach out to more blogs, and how does that work for me? Let's say I'm an independent artist. Other than articles, there seems to be a growing trend to say, hey, promote your music on my blog. And do you know anything about that? And there are a lot of independent artists listening. How are we to approach that?
I would say with extreme caution, because I can't tell you how many musicians that I'm following on Twitter. And I mean, my handle is @JazzAuthor. So they send back a robo response. What kind of music are you into? Well, you obviously didn't even read my handle is Jazz.
Exactly.
Bluegrass, it's not, Gregorian chants, So
yeah, heavy metal at jazz.
Right. But they say, take a look at my link and I'll promo you and all this. When I see that, I just tune out. You want a person you could talk to, like me. Let's say someone reached out to you. If they don't respond to you with your first question, it's like they're just collecting either data, or they're just collecting to say, yeah, she's on my site and this one's, and you got to be careful about that. Okay. So I would say, have a rapport with them if they can have a back and forth, even a phone call,
And some ask for money up front. Well, for this amount of money, I can put you on my popular blog and you get exposure. So
yeah,
I don't know about that. I politely, but like you said, unless I've seen it, I'll agree to anything that will help what I do, and Gary would, Griselda, anybody else to promote. But like you said, after being burned, I find myself being cautious, trying to be polite to ask questions. Okay, you want to do this? What, even in terms of collaborating? musicians collaborate with each other. Hey, can you do this? Now, people like Gary and Sam and David, I know these guys, they can call me anytime. But what's happened when I did a collaboration, they didn't even use anything I did. It's just, so and sometimes it can be time consuming. I had to learn, because if you just have 8 bars, improv solo, lay it down and you're done, that's a quick thing. But if you send me a track and say, write the melody, write this, or here's the melody, play just like that's more time, of course, which I don't have a problem with. But I just find that I have to be careful. Who am I working with? And
right. And they're using your, you are, contributing original content to them. And I would, from your perspective, I would sooner Google something like, 10 top music bloggers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Who's legit, say, they would include your link and maybe a sample. But yeah, I'd rather seek them out than have someone find me, and it's like, the language is the same, promo, all these buzzwords that it's like, nah, I don't, I'm not feeling,
There's a lot out there. See, when somebody reaches out to me and said, send me information, I don't have a problem when they want more detail. It's either my EPK or my website, or I'm all over social media. On my landing page, you can see every social media. So I try to make it easy when people are seeking me out, which it did work, because a London-based company found me that way, and to perform at a big convention here, and they were looking for local musicians. So yes, it's important to make it easy, but at the same time, after being burned a couple of times, well, more than a couple, I don't want to be jaded. But at the same time, people are coming with you with opportunities, what they call opportunities to get exposure. So, but blogging seems to be catching on, a lot. And I applaud you for your success. But I want to hear. I read about your book. Read the title of your book, Griselda, A Story of Love, Lust, and Jazz. What does love, lust, and jazz have in common?
So after I wrote Poconos and B Flat, I wanted to try a novel. And, I was in band for several years. And just like any collective group of people, whether it's, a rock and mineral club or a stamp club, through time, you get to know the drama under the, underlying everything, and, the relationships within and stuff. And, I just saw story ideas throughout, just collecting bits and pieces of, human interaction and stuff. And being that I love jazz, I thought it would be a great backdrop, and I know, about jazz. So I made it, the anti-hero, the one who she falls for, is a trumpet musician, and he's actually quite married. And she's divorced. And it has a lot of spicy parts. It's definitely not erotica. It has like a real, I would say it's like a lasagna, because it's got
it has layers
of passion and emotional pain, and what they go through, the push and pull. And I thought there was a way to present it that was, classy as well as, authentic and real. I hate to invoke 50 Shades of Grey, but when I read that and it was passed around my office, and, the copy was dog-eared and you had to wait for your turn to get it, I'm like, really? I'm like, this is like supposed to be a hot and heavy story about people in their 20s. That's too easy, people in their 20s. Lust and love come so easily. How about when you're, in your 50s, and, you've lived a lot of life, and you find someone who, like, knocks you over, and you're just like, what do you do about that when you rediscover lust? And, do you give it a shot? Are you too jaded? So I wanted to explore that aspect of people who are finding it later in life, and they, they don't want to give up, the dream of having that, passion, why should they? So that's where this, this
and
idea.
You a little jazz in with it too. So wow,
I
nice.
do.
I love it. So that book has not been released yet.
Right. So that'll, July of next year, and I'm deep in the editing phase now. It's Waldorf Publishing, and bless their hearts, they're just so easy to work with, really. I mean, it's just a dream, you know. So, and they have a trade show, so we go to the trade show every year. It's called Book Expo America, and that's authors go there, publishers go there, and it's at the Javits Center in New York. So we just had one, and my book wasn't out on the table yet, but next year it will be. So that's I'm just super excited.
That is cool. That is cool.
I cannot wait.
Okay. Well, good deal. Now let's take a quick music break and just give some cool music, just a track or two, and then we're going to come back and continue our discussion with our guest, Debbie Burke. Very, very, very nice. Very interesting. Yes. A lot of great, and like I said, for all of you out there, if you don't know about her publications and her jazz blog, you need to recognize, because it's really good. Yeah, good information. So what we'll do, we'll take a music break, and then we'll come right back and take more questions with our guest right here on the Indie Live Spot right here on GHP Radio. Be right back.
passing by. Life is holding out a twilight world. Don't let it slip away. Come take it while we may, and make it begin. Let's find our twilight world before the night sets in. Before the night sets in.
A bossa song set in the bay. Everyone I meet there, the melody. Rhythm takes me down to Rio, then my heart breaks out in song. And I call it Bossa 510. This feeling is so strong, maybe today. Everything I see brings the notes right to me. All the tourists want to know why the music is so strong. Never heard of Bossa 510. Music all around here. It's reflected in the water, from the mountains to the hills, from the East Bay. I see cityscape and countryside. It's a state of mind. The Bossa 510. 2, 3, 4,
What you know about going out sunsets, kicking back the late night, listening to trumpets. Mountain Winery, your favorite song with the stars. A different night, another band, we can hit the bar. Okay. Exit Hayward, now we posted the bistro. Two girls on one guitar, ego, yo. I think that makes a trio. Low risk of high stakes, we can do better. Like piano at a lounge in September. Pushing bands with she, but she a go-getter. Hey, did you break a record? We ain't got forever. Oh my, the party's on the Yoshis. I think the one out in Oakland, don't quote me. See, the moral of the story is that music is victorious. And what's a boss to a bossa? Take your shoes off when you enter mi casa. Aha, it's the Bossa 510, baby.
Music all around here. It's reflected in the water, from the mountains to the hills, from the East Bay. I see cityscape and countryside. It's the state of mind, the Bossa 510. Music all around here. It's reflected in the water, from the mountains to the hills, from the East Bay. I see cityscape and countryside. It's the state of mind, the Bossa 510. Now it won't take too long. I'm gonna play my little bossa of our home by the bay. All the places I can go, but never felt like I belong. I belong in Bossa 510. I belong in Bossa 510.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you heard some great music there. We had some sounds from Aziza Miller with Say Yes, and also you had 510 Jazz with Bossa 510, and then of course we're very excited about our guest. Like we said, we've been talking to Debbie Burke, author, jazz author, and she has some very cool stuff going on. And we were talking with her just a little bit earlier about one of the books that's supposed to be coming out in was it next year?
Yes. Yeah, July of 2018.
Yeah. So it's awesome. Now, what I wanted to ask was, could you kind of give us a brief overview of your first book? What was that all about?
Sure. So the first book was The Poconos in B Flat. And that's when, there was really nothing captured about the jazz scene here, and it's a rich jazz heritage. So I interviewed, some of the real, internationally known NEA jazz masters like Phil Woods, and who has since passed, and Bob Duro from Schoolhouse Rock, and he does these jingles, and he does this, he scats and stuff. And David Liebman, who's, a sax supreme, he's unbelievable. And then, through the jazz program that came up through that festival, they spawned like, what's her name? Grace Jones, I think. Yeah, and she's a sax player. Yeah, she's an up-and-comer, and she's like amazing.
Huh.
Yeah. So, it's a real interesting community, and it's just like a little pocket of jazz that, unless you're in the art, at least in the arts world, you don't really, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So the next celebration of the arts is in this area. It's usually like right after Labor Day, like September 9th, right around there. And it's just wall to wall jazz. I mean, of all genres. And, there's one big stage, and it's an outdoor venue, and it's a great time.
That's awesome.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
But on your blog, are you still interviewing and blogging about jazz musicians, or about the art, or musicians, or the music? And tell us about your blog, and how often do you post?
Well, this week I posted like 3 times. I just, it's kind of snowballed when I ask a couple of people for, recommendations. I know this guy, and how about this woman, and she just broke out, and she's got a new CD, so I have to really schedule them all out. It's going strong, and I just love writing about it. So, but I'm not confined to any one, genre within jazz. Like, it's not all smooth. It's not all, R&B soul type of stuff. It's also straight ahead. It's also what they call, what is it called? Like gypsy jazz. And I'm going to be doing big band and a piece on, Crosby and stuff. So all that kind of, spanning the ages. So, and also producers and educators. And I did an interview with this guy who gives jazz walks through Harlem. So he points out, who lived where, and, the heritage of the buildings and the jazz community there. And so it needn't be like an artist per se. But one thing I'm trying to do is trying to get at least every instrument represented. So
right.
like a little, silly to-do list for me. So I'm still waiting for the trombone guy to answer, and a vibes guy. But I have, flute, sax, drums, percussion, vocal, and, on it. I have a cellist, on board. I didn't post it yet, and so on.
Harp.
So,
Got harp too?
No, I'd love to speak to a jazz harpist. Do you play harp?
No.
Just like, no.
So you can talk about
one person. But I'm trying to think, do I know of a jazz harp player? I don't, but that would be really cool.
I'm telling you.
If I hear of one, I would definitely let you know.
Okay. Now, you were saying you thought, like, violin is hard, which it is, because there's no frets, and you have to have a feel for where your hands, fingers go and such. I mean, with the harp, I don't know how you discern where to put your fingertips.
I know, right?
It's crazy.
It's more like it's strings that you pick with the harp.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the strings that are inside a piano.
Right.
It's like they're plucking those, as opposed to a violin when you have, it is different. But yeah. I remember our harp teacher when I was in in college music, and she was always soliciting music majors to take harp, but I had too much on my plate because I was doubling saxophone and flute, classical and jazz and all that, and I was like, I don't have time to take harp. I will never graduate if I keep adding. But I wish I had. It's such a beautiful instrument. It's just cumbersome to carry around, but now they have smaller harps. The harp that was at the university was the gigantic one. And it's like, and every time, you move it around, well, they have rollers, but still, it was awkward. And I mean, after playing it, I didn't even want to touch a bari sax. I told them I don't want to be seen. At that time, I was barely, 114 pounds. It was really tiny. And I refused to play an instrument that was bigger than I. So I told them I'm not touching the bari sax. And to see all those other big instruments, I just didn't want to deal with it. But is it beautiful? Oh my goodness. I've heard harp, just orchestra, jazz, R&B. Well, not blues. I don't think I've heard it, but I've heard in all those genres. It always adds something so special.
Oh, yeah.
So if I hear of a harp player, I would definitely refer them. That would be great. There has to be someone somewhere.
I know. I'm going to have to look that up. Now you have me intrigued.
Yeah. What about clarinet? There's a lady, what's her name? In New Orleans, Louisiana. I can't remember her name. She's an outstanding jazz clarinetist, just phenomenal. So I went to New Orleans. I reached out to say, are you playing anywhere? I didn't hear back. So I guess that meant she wasn't when I was in town. But I would love to hear her live. So I could see where your work would be so exciting because there's just so much talent out there. So, such variety.
Yeah. It also, it's actually gratifying to me when someone says, oh, yeah, you'd write an article about me. It's like, yeah, why not? I mean, you have a passion for it. I don't care that you're not a megastar. You should only be a megastar and, enjoy what you do. Yeah. And everybody has a different story. It's not, I don't use the same questions. There are some overlaps, but everyone's story is different. What's in their heart and what inspires them and, artists that they, came up through, loving their music and, there's a lot of interesting stories out there and why not tell them all.
I find yours interesting when I read that John Coltrane inspired you or triggered you, whatever the word is, to love jazz. Tell us about that and how did that happen?
Yeah, it did. It was, it turns out that it was the song Once in a While, but of course this was the 70s and it was the days before the internet or anything like it. So I don't know, I might have gone to J&R Music World and hummed it for them and asked them, what could this be? I didn't know from, any musicians or any, and, I just fell in love with it. And then I asked him for his opinion on, well, someone starting out, which record should I buy? And it's a floor full of records, as far as you can see. He brought me over to Maxine Sullivan. So I'm like, okay, we'll start with her. And she's actually on the cover of Poconos in B flat. A local artist who is now in Jersey, his name is Kason Reeves, and he was doing an exhibit for Black History Month for one of the, I think, SEIU union headquarters in Manhattan. And they asked him to do a series of paintings on, all different disciplines. One of them was music. And I said, you ever hear of Maxine Sullivan? He said, no. I said, here, look her up. And, I just love her sound. She swings, she's great, So he did that. I said, may I use this for my cover? So it's on the cover, Poconos in B flat. If you look it up on Amazon, it's okay. I'll have to send it to you. But yeah, he did a painting inspired by her with a microphone in front of her, and I just fell in love, So I went from there.
Just never know what triggers your love. By the way, Keith, Gris, tell them, Gris, are you in there? He recommended somebody.
Yeah, somebody from Jazz and Pink when they're doing that tour. Maria Antoinette, yeah.
Oh, cool.
With Jazz and Pink plays harp.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
You're on Facebook. You have a contact page on your website where he can send you her information?
Thanks, Keith.
Debbie Burke Jazz Author on Facebook. Also the blog is Debbie Burke Author. And I see that though. I never even thought to, because I'm trying to get all instruments. I never even thought about the harp, but of course it's, that would be wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure would.
And also the group that Joan, what's her name? I was going to say Joan Cartwright. I almost said Crawford. Joan Cartwright has Women of Jazz website with a plethora. I think I'm still on it, of female jazz musicians with a variety of instruments. Joan Cartwright, she should be here today. I should have invited her, but she would know about a lot of musicians that play a variety of different instruments too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, but jazz.
I mean, obviously, I got some trumpet players, and then I got a harmonica.
Yes.
And he's from Italy, Enrico Granafei, and he is the owner of Trumpets Jazz Club in Montclair, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So this guy Claudio was, headlining, and he called Enrico on stage, and they kind of jammed a little, and it was really cool. And I'd never heard. Well, I mean, I heard Toots Fieldman. He's the big, he made the harmonica famous in jazz, but haven't heard too many contemporary artists, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm after every instrument possible.
And actually, writing about Jazz in Pink, all-female group by, her name just left me. Who's the leader of the group? I can see her face.
So can I.
Jordan?
Keyboard player.
Yeah, she's a keyboard. Jordan. Is it Jordan? Y'all, I believe I forgot her name. And
me too.
I'm embarrassed.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I forgot.
Somebody in the chat room. Jordan. The name, not Jordan.
He said Gail.
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 From Jazz in Pink.
Gail Jordan.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Keith. Henry. Sorry. Thank you, Keith. I was looking at Henry's name.
I think it was Jordan. It's not hard, is it? Oh my gosh.
She spells her last name different. That's why it threw me. I was like, what is her name?
Yeah, JHONSON. She's the leader of Jazz in Pink. They're all over the country. And she's the founder, and she's consistent, but she brings in different female musicians on her show. So that's a great write-up.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are several people right here in the chat line that are David McLaurin. Just anyway, we'll communicate. I love what you're doing. We'll network. But yes, well, see, great things happen. We found the jazz harpists.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I'm excited.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Debbie, why don't you tell our listeners how they can, your website for your blog, and then of course how they can actually get to your books as well, because I know the ones that you have out now, I'm sure people will be interested in those as well, and then of course your release of the new one that's coming up.
Okay, yeah, thanks. So the blog is www.debbieburkeauthor.com, and Burke is just Burke. And there's a contact page on there. The book that I wrote about the jazz scene in Delaware Water Gap with Phil Woods and Bob Duro, that's called The Poconos in B Flat. I chose that title, by the way, because when I was playing sax, it was the most bendable. It was a note, like a mid-tone note that was just so easy to bend and make it like really sing. So I just love that note on the alto. Now I guess people have their favorite notes, right?
Yeah.
And you like B flat.
and there's some notes that you don't like as much as the others too.
Exactly.
It was D. For me, it was D. Oh, I got to hit that D note again. Make sure it's not fuzzy.
Yeah, let's get through that, right? And so Glissando, A Story of Love, Lust, and Jazz will be out July of 2018. And so, I have an update, kind of like a feed on my blog as well, just to tell what's happening with it. I think it will be, advanced release will be, early in the year. But as far as being able to purchase it, it's July. So I'll be blogging about that.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I'm seeing the cover right now of Poconos in B flat.
Yeah. That's there
That's
now.
a cool cover. I like that.
I know he did amazing art, and he just let me use it, and I just give him credit all over the place. Kason, he's amazing.
Cool. When you have your books, when they come out, do you do the book signing thing and all that good stuff too?
Yeah, as artist, you have to at least be 50-50 partner with your manager or publisher, whatever the other entity is, and do as much promo as you can. So they're pretty proactive, which I was happy to hear, Waldorf. Then again, I have to pitch in as well. So I already have some places in mind, but until I have it in hand, I can't really schedule these. But as far as I can go geographically for signings, and then there's other things I could work out, as far as media and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be the fun part, really.
Yeah.
Selections,
absolutely.
deciding what to read out loud and what not, what to leave for when they
for them to read.
And so that's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
That's
And
exciting.
I love the cover. The Pokemon. I love the cover. That Billie Holiday look, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Now, who designed that picture? Who did you say designed?
I'm going to put it in the feed. His name is Kason Reeves, and he's a poet, he's an author, K.A. And I think he's in version now of Poconos in B flat. And he's just amazing. He does, portraiture and I'm sure his website is probably named the same thing. And he's also on Facebook as well. So yeah, he executed it. He even asked what color scheme. And when I think of jazz, I think of blues and purples,
His work. I just Googled him. Oh, he's amazing.
Oh, he is.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
You guys
know. And he also
just Google his name. There's a ton of images. He is brilliant.
Yep. Yes, he is.
Okay.
He's just so, he's so, his portraiture is so realistic and full of warmth, and yeah, he's an amazing guy.
Oh, wow.
Do you see it, Gris?
Yeah, I just go
I want to show my daughter this. She's an art teacher. So, wow.
Look at what he has for Lady Day. The one with the flowers? Isn't that supposed to be like really holiday?
That's beautiful. It's amazing, Debbie, when I looked at the front cover you did for your book, I thought of, what's her real name? Billie. Yeah, Billie Holiday.
Right.
When I looked at it, I said, oh, I knew it wasn't her, but it kind of reminded me.
Looked like her,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, have you heard Maxine Sullivan? She just, what a voice. And she had such an interesting career because she ended up going back to become either it was nursing or she was involved in the, the PTA. She just pulled back from the music industry after a while, but she really was swinging. She had such a nice voice and just a way of phrasing.
Cool.
She's not with us anymore, but.
Wow. Okay. What a way to honor her life, though.
Yeah.
Great. Yes, I love that. So, you're a very interesting lady. I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Enjoying this.
Very much
Yes.
so. Very much so.
Now I know about Kason Reeves.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he'll answer you too if you email him. Yeah, he's such a cool guy. So nice and sweet. Really.
Wow. Love the art that I see right here. It's amazing.
So, well, Debbie, we surely do appreciate you taking out the time to come through and chat with us and let us know about all the wonderful things that you're doing over there. And it's very, 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 very cool. And I love it.
Yeah.
Really do love it. And we look forward to the new release too. When it comes. So I'll definitely be looking out for that, and then perhaps maybe we can have you even come back, on the show to talk a little bit more about it when it gets here, when it comes close to release.
Be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then maybe have you read a little section of it too for our listeners.
I
can't wait.
You guys, listeners, if you could just see her face as she said that. You could...
Am I going to read and what am I going to avoid?
Is the book going to be on, well, it used to be on tape, now it's on CD, I mean is it going to be digital too? Or...
Yeah, they do that. So it'll be an ebook, it'll be, a hard copy book. They try to get you film rights and international rights. So that's, Waldorf Publishing, like goes after that for you too. So that would be phenomenal. I'd love to see it in a movie, I swear to you. I really would. I just envisioned it. I mean, to me, this guy is so real in my head. I'm like,
right?
Yeah, really see it.
You ought to write a book about that. The author's main character became real too.
We'll see.
Funny.
All right. Well, again, Debbie, we definitely really do appreciate you coming on, and if there's is there anything like you like to say, before we let you go?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, I have to say thanks to you. I mean, this has been so much fun, and you're all so much fun. So it was a great experience. I was a little nervous, and then when the guys came to cut the lawn, I thought we'd have no sound, but we're fine. So I really appreciate you bringing me on your show, Gary, and it's nice to meet you.
It's a
Griselda
pleasure.
and Joyce so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's definitely a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Like I said, you're definitely welcome back anytime.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yeah, we can't wait for that second release of the book. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about that.
I tell you.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and get into some more music, and then in a little bit, Joyce is going to give us some entertainment news, so y'all stick around for that as well. So y'all keep it locked right here on the Indie Live spot, right here on GHP Radio. We'll be right back.
Keep it locked.
You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Red moon rising in the blue midnight sky. Me in my shadow, moving on in the night. Red moon rising leads me back to the place I first held you, when I saw the light in your eyes. Silhouette fades to gray. Beyond the horizon is the dawn, a new day. I've heard about heaven, and I guess it must be the feeling I get when your love shines on me. Not so long ago, love was
was just a dream, until one summer night when I saw the light in your eyes. Once upon a time, love was just a dream, until one summer night when I saw the light in your eyes. In your eyes. Red moon rising, red moon rising.
sisters and brothers in the human race. When we hurt or suffer, we come together with grace. Life at UNICEF, 9/11, UNCF, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and that was some great music there. That was Bobby Porter with Land of Wonder. And
Bobby!
and we also heard some great music from Dory Pride as well. So, yeah, once again, I want to thank our guest today that we had on earlier, Miss Debbie Burke, jazz author. It was actually really cool to talk with her and get some info on some of the things that she was doing. So, but now it's time for our entertainment music news by our friend here, Miss Joyce Spencer. What you got for us, girl?
You didn't press a button that went,
Yay!
Where's that? What is that song? You're So Vain.
Oh, yeah. You're so vain.
Guys, I want entertainment news. Now, okay. Taylor Swift back in the news. I know. He's like, Joyce, why do you like Taylor Swift? Things are just always happening to her, or she's always doing something that I think is commendable. Yes. But she was at, she's taking pictures with DJ David Mueller in Colorado. He's a big time DJ out there taking pictures. And guess what he does? He ropes Taylor Swift.
That was crazy.
He puts his hand up her skirt and grabs her behind.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that.
I said, oh my gosh. So what happened was she and her team reported back to KYGO FM. Hey, your DJ did this. They fired him. Now, what does he do? Okay, you grab Taylor Swift's bare buttocks. Are you crazy? You know what I mean? It was a pre-concert, a fan reception. Promo, getting to me, and it was a photo op. Now, not only that, but the DJ's girlfriend was on the other side of Taylor. Oh. Well, of course, he denied it, and he countersues. Well, he sues her, and she counters. I don't know who was the counter who initiated it. Yeah. I don't remember, but the judge tossed out DJ Mueller's defamation of character claim against Swift even before the trial.
Wow.
He said it was. I think it's a statute of limitation thing. He said he waited too long, but he also tried to sue her for libeling, but he got nothing out of the deal. He just got nothing. And of course, the jury ruled in his favor. Now, it said it was an 8-member jury. And they were left to decide whether Mueller was liable for assault and battery. And while he was seeking $1 million, I think, in damages, give or take, she was seeking $1. In other words, I don't want your money. You see, this is in civil court, not criminal court, of course. So in civil, you have to name an amount. Right. And the jury ruled in her favor. But he's not going to jail, of course, because this is civil court. But I think her taking a stand, because what makes you think
that he has a right to do that?
Yeah, I mean, he was earning $150,000 a year as a DJ at this radio station.
We should be making that kind of money for GHP Radio.
Hey, Gary, I'll take that. I'll just take that.
Yeah.
I'll we order that.
Oh man, I know.
Think of what we could accomplish as a station online, dude.
And if you Google it, there's a picture, guys, if you want to see it. And you could see her she shifted her hip to the side as if to get away. And one of the things that the attorney for Mueller, when she was on the witness stand, he was like, oh, why didn't you just take a break if this was bothering you? And she's like, why didn't he just keep his hands to himself?
Exactly.
And according to the people that were there, said she made an excellent witness. She didn't shy down. She was ready for every answer, and she was very strong. As a matter of fact, she told Mueller's lawyer when he was questioning her, she's like, wait a minute, your client grabbed my bleep. He stayed latched onto my bare bleep. I felt him grab onto my beep, cheek, skirts. And he, in other words, yeah. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Taylor Swift. I don't care if she's little Jane down the street. It doesn't matter. But that just tells me this man must have been getting away. He got too comfortable with grabbing a woman's cheek, and your girlfriend is on the other side. And I don't think the radio station had any choice in this matter but to say, you know, you have to go. You know, if Taylor Swift got Google to change their minds, and that means she's surrounded by a team. As a matter of fact, they said that he was alone on his side, sipping on water, right? Taylor had a mom there, her lawyers, and a team of people. And also, if I might add, her bodyguard also testified. He didn't see him going up there, but he saw him, you know, when it was up there. And I'm like, why didn't you beat him? But didn't y'all hear that out there? Beyonce's sister named Solange.
Yeah.
Remember how she beat Jay-Z?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
When they was in that elevator. Yeah.
Maybe you should have a female bodyguard, because we could have been there.
If you guys could see Joyce do that. She's putting the smackdown on.
Yeah. But yeah, that was outrageous though. Why would you do something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
it freaks me out. I was like, when I started reading the article, I said, well, maybe, and let me give them the benefit of the doubt. But the more I read, thought I like, yeah, you did it. You did it. And so they interviewed the security guard in the trial. He verified it, and they even called. Now get this: his girlfriend is now ex-girlfriend, and she was called to testify. She couldn't have, from her vantage point, you know, where she was standing, she couldn't see it. Yeah. But she said, "I didn't see it, but I don't have eyes in the back of my head." So he had no support anywhere. He lost a $150,000 a year job, and since this has gone viral, and the pictures all over the place, this man won't find another job.
Yeah, he ruined that reputation, didn't he?
Yes. Now he'll be known as the DJ that grabbed Taylor Swift's beep.
The pervert.
And speaking of embarrassing moments, this is not about a musician. But this is about a lawyer, and Amy Witherite is a what some call ambulance chasing lawyer that does accidents and focused on accidents. Well, she's on the radio, K104, all over the place. Okay, and she has this Texas drawl when she talks, and she's they hit them hard and blah 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 blah. Well, what did I see come across social media and has gone viral is a video of her and her wife beating the valet parker.
What?
Wife?
And her wife. They're beating the valet parker and people around her. Now, do you want to hear why?
Why?
She's upset because her Mercedes was not parked up front.
You got to be kidding me. Oh my goodness. What is going on? What is going on in this world?
People are just totally whacked out, you know?
and they had a little bit to drink, and then I saw the video, and you could tell she was in his face.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was some physical interaction, and she took her drink in her hand. If everybody visualized a drink, I think it was a cup, and she smacked it full force upside his head.
Wow.
I'm thinking, oops, upside your head. But anyway. Can y'all hear that? She smacked him real good, and I couldn't tell if he kind of gave her a nice little shove, but she fell flat on her bottom.
Oh, wow.
And she also, between she and her wife, somebody had a cell phone, and she said, "You're not calling the cops," took the cell phone, crashed the cell phone, hit another witness. And you know what I said? All those trucking accidents that you settled, you better pull out your checkbook, because there are a lot of people that are going to sue you now. And I thought about that. So whether, you know, when you're out in public, guys, just remember, everybody has a camera now. Everybody has a, video.
That's right.
Camera. You be captured and you can go viral and just like that. So that's not exactly entertainment news, but it's entertaining. So if you do what you could see her just fall flat on that. And I don't know how much time we have left, but that's pretty much it. And again, guys, one more thing before we go. How many of you are Law and Order fans? I am. SVU. For you guys?
I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's been a minute. It's been a while since I've seen it, but yeah.
I'm a fan. Well, maybe this might incite people to get more interested. Brooke Shields is now coming to the show. I thought that was interesting.
Oh, really? Wow.
And that might be because Gary and Griselda need to come back and start watching again. You know how if they're losing ratings, they will bring people on, but they're known for bringing stars. I guess A-list guests on it, because Robin Williams has been on it. The late Robin Williams, of course. Sharon Stone, Alec Baldwin, Whoopi Goldberg, Carol Burnett, and now Brooke Shields is coming not as a guest, but as a regular on the show. Yes. So I kind of want to see, okay, what is Brooke Shields going to do on the show? Because this is, I think, this is season 19. I think I saw. So it'll be interesting seeing what she does, because I've been seeing Brooke Shields. I think we grew up together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a girl. I think I'm a little bit older, but I remember when she was a little girl, her very first movie it was in a horror house that she was starring in. And and of course, Endless Love, and she's done.
Yeah, Blue Lagoon, that's the one I remember. Yeah. Yeah,
Blue Lagoon, I forgot. Yeah, that one too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Law and Order. It's one of my favorite shows. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, I thought I mentioned that, speaking of entertainment and music news, I noticed that the country community lost Glenn Campbell this past week.
Exactly.
Yeah,
oh,
that surprised me. Because I remember, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Rhinestone Cowboy, yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
All back in them days, yeah. And in fact, as a kid, I used to like watching Hee Haw. You remember the Hee Haw, the show? And
yeah. My dad would love watching that, yeah.
And I remember he used to make appearances on there and stuff and everything. But yeah, it was kind of sad to hear that as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And also, guys, don't forget about our people in our family, musicians and music connoisseurs like John Kerry. Keep him in your prayers. Keep Keith Gilchrist in your prayers. Do we have any other of our people in our family that are going through it? What about Jordan? What's his name? Huh?
Jordan Clemens?
Yes, Jordan Clemens as well. I haven't heard the latest, but just keep them in your prayers and your thoughts, and continue to encourage them.
In fact, I thought I saw a post, and I hope I hope I saw right, where John was able to come home too from the hospital, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bless his heart. I hope things keep going on the up for him.
And he'll have to return for more treatment later, but he's home for now. So
yeah.
And
Rod Williams is having surgery soon, so we need to definitely say some prayers for him. David just mentioned that. I see in the chat. So thank you, David.
I didn't see that. I have sticky notes on my computer screen. I don't know, and I keep names to keep them in my thoughts and prayers. Did I mute you guys out? No, I did it.
No.
So clicking on all kinds of things. I don't know how I did this, you guys. So here you go. Back now.
That's funny.
All right, and that's it for entertainment news. Awesome. I'll see you guys next week. Independent artists in the chat room. If you, just like Gary just did, if there's something you want me to talk about, report, I would love to talk more about independent artists. Please don't hesitate to go to my website, go to my contact page, and just send me stuff that I can talk about. JoyceSpencerMusic.com. I also added on my website, on the Joyce's blog, if you go to that menu, entertainment news there as well. So I'm doing my best to keep above and get some more news so we can talk about on the show. So if you have some ideas,
we can gossip about you. In your face.
What happened Did I miss something?
No, I just said so we can gossip about you in your face.
Oh, yeah, no, in your face. We can say some good things about you in your face.
Let's call good gossip. It's positive gossip.
Oh, gosh. All right. Just don't grab anybody's bottom, y'all. That's not cool.
Please don't.
Yeah.
You know, she could have filed criminal charges. He could be in jail for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, I can't believe that.
That's just not right. That is like so totally messed up on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's like you want to, if you guys could see my face listening, it's like you want to go, huh?
Like,
what, you know.
Right.
Yeah. What, you know, what would make you think you could do that? So many levels.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I said it wasn't you were grabbing your girlfriend. You were grabbing somebody that's not even, you barely met.
Yeah.
Well, you remember.
And someone that is a popular person, I mean, that's well known, whether you like her or not, but still, that's just not right.
And you know, it's crazy, but it makes me think about what Trump said when he got caught on that film in that news organization. I don't know what news. Remember that on the bus when the statement he got caught saying that you can touch, you know, they like and all this crap.
Yeah, grab their feet.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is that I remember I said a few years ago, I said, you know, whatever's at the top flows to the bottom. Mm-hmm. And if the person at the top is saying it's okay to grab, you start normalizing something that, and you know what? All I can tell them is please don't try that at home.
No.
don't do it, because the only reason why Taylor Swift didn't turn around and slap the mess out of him, because it would have caused more negative attention towards her. Even though, and what happens is that the person who is sneaking and grabbing you, if you come across aggressive, they will become victim.
Yeah.
They know how to manipulate and go, what are you doing? You see Taylor hit me. And who knows, he could have been setting her up for whatever.
Right.
So, but she handled it the best way she could as a popular person. Me, you grab mine, I might hit you on the spot.
Exactly. Hello.
Yeah.
You'll be singing soprano from now on, babe.
And Gris don't miss.
Oh, man.
I aim and I get it just right.
It's like,
well. Okay, y'all. Well, I guess it's time for us to get up out of here. So I want to thank everybody, especially all the people in the chat room. We appreciate you hanging in there with us today, and thank Debbie Burke for her appearance today. And of course, look out for any posts for upcoming shows. You know, I got to get into the schedule and talk with some people about getting some more people on. So on this new format. So hope you all enjoyed it, and I want y'all to have a great weekend. And with that said, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Joyce and Grizz.
Well, I enjoyed it, guys. As usual, always enjoyed multitasking, reading the chat line, and speaking, and hanging out with the great Gary Fuston and Griselda. I just want to ask everybody who is listening now, if you would grab a hold of the flyer that Gary and Griselda puts out there and share it on your timeline. Please. And inbox at least one person and invite them to join us next Saturday at 2 o'clock. So word of mouth is powerful. Sharing, yes, but word of mouth, somebody that you know, and say, hey, could you join us on this day? And so we can get more people in here, listening to our guests, and finding out about more independent artists. Yes. And again, I'd love to hear more about you, what you're doing, and talk about you in your face, but something very positive, of course.
Even said no grabbing, Joyce.
No grabbing. I'm a sister from South Louisiana. You better watch it.
The same thing when you said grab something, like, Joyce, you just said about grabbing. Why are you grabbing people?
Oh, wow.
Boy, that will not come across too well. Grab mine. Ooh.
No.
right, it's your turn.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us today, for showing your support. Our listeners out there that are not honestly listening, thank you for joining us. And our chat room gang, thank you guys for being there. We love to see you in the chat room, and thank you for showing your support. Appreciate it more than you know. All right, everybody, be safe out there. Have a great weekend. Stay hydrated, please, because it's still ugly temperatures outside, so be careful. And we will see you here next week.
That's right. Okay.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same bad channel.
No.
Keep it locked.
No. Batman. All right, folks. All right. We'll see y'all next week. Have a great weekend.
Okay.